Coach, you had 5 players go over double digits tonight. Can you speak to that team chemistry and kind of y'all coming together as a family, especially in this game?
Well, scoring double figures at that many with that many kids is not a surprise. I've said from the beginning we score a lot of points. Team chemistry comes when everybody's in place and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we're a work in progress in that area. So I'm just waiting to see it. When it happens, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously the length on the perimeter defensively for y'all and how aggressive y'all can be. Is that remind you of some of the Baylor teams that you had and get
Yes.
to where you want to be?
Yes, I think we do have length on the perimeter. Sometimes you have speed on the perimeter, sometimes you have length, sometimes you have a little of both. This team has length. I totally agree with that. And I'm still not sure who my defensive stopper is. I think it's going to change from game to game depending on who we're playing. But I do like activity that we have going on right now. I like I just like their perseverance, their resolve right now, and good to coach them.
Um, Pola's last 4 games, I think 13 assists, the 2 turnovers. How invaluable is she just in what she's done, and how has she gotten even better from last year?
Well, Poa probably would tell you she wants to play the off guard. They all want to play the off guard. They get a little taste of the point guard and it's like, I don't know about all this. But we're better when Poa can play the point and Haley can go to the off guard some. Haley has done tremendous things at the point since she's been here, but I can't just take her completely off the wing. That's where she's grown up and that's her comfort level too. So when you can have both of them on the floor together, and then Williams can handle the ball. Flage would be, one that's going to mainly stay at the wing and put it on the floor a couple times, but not ever play the point.
Oh, hey there, it's Brett Martell with AP. Quick question about Cayman Islands. What are you hoping to get out of that? I know the girls mentioned some team building. Can you give us any highlights of what you're going to do, Stingray City or,
I
or
don't
whatever?
know what we have planned. There you go. He knows more than we do. I don't know all the fun things. I just know the work part. When you go on trips like this, most of us have never been to these places, so you're going to mix a little pleasure with work. So we'll do, what'd you say we're doing? Stingrays and whatever, okay, but a lot of them will get to see their families, and myself included. It's Thanksgiving, and let's don't ever forget that. It's a special time of the year. We don't get to come home and eat with our families. Christmas, you have to work really hard to get some days off at Christmas. So that's our family, and we're going to go to the Cayman Islands and we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. We're going to do fun things, and then we're going to try to win 2 ball games.
It's supposed to be 7 years. Good luck if you kiss a stingray. Did you know that?
Well, I'm not sure I'm going to be close to a stingray. Could you see me in a swimsuit? I don't think so, but I will look from afar.
Could you say whether you expect the entire roster yet to go, or can you comment on that?
I don't even know if I'll go. I might wake up, be sick.
Ron Higgins, Shreveport Bossier Journal. You knowing the character of your kids you recruit, are you surprised at how well they've galvanized without one of their key players?
No, that's what coaches do. Coaches deal with issues, guys, every year. Been doing this 40 years. There's not a coach in America that doesn't deal with issues. Some may choose not to deal with issues. You just deal with it. You make the best decisions, you love on them, and you saw what they've been doing. So I'm not surprised.
Has Angel been?
Tell me who you
Oh,
are.
I'm sorry, Glenn Gilbo with
So you're
Outkick.
Glenn. Nice
Yes,
to meet you.
I've met you before.
No, over the phone.
Well, actually, I met you at one of the national championships, but that's okay. Has Angel been practicing like up to this point?
Angel, were you at the press conference the other day?
Yeah.
Angel, I'm going to give you the same answer I gave you the
Oh,
other
okay.
day.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, all right. I got you. Is she gonna
I'm not.
Have you
I'm
decided
not-
if she's going to the Cayman Islands yet?
If I have, I wouldn't tell you.
Okay.
You're not entitled to that information. Okay? So I'll say it again. Angel was not in uniform tonight. Angel is a part of this basketball team, and Angel will be back sooner than later.
So she's practicing.
I've given you my answer, Glenn.
Okay.
Tonight, this freshman recruiting class came off the bench. Some of them came off the bench and really showed why they came to LSU and why they were recruited here. How can you
And
speak
didn't they look
to?
happy?
They looked great.
Did
It was
they
a
not
good
look
game.
happy?
Ecstatic.
They're happy for each other. Do you know how hard it is to be a freshman at this level and just be trying to get minutes? Michaela looked at me and she goes, "You got our 4 freshmen out here, coach." I said, "Yeah, go kick."
How can you speak to what they bring to this team when they do get those minutes and
They
overall
bring-
why they came
They
here?
bring a joy about them that they're so excited to be at LSU, and they know they're the future, and any minute that they get, they don't want to waste it, and they don't want to disappoint you, and they want to do good.
Coach, defensively, tonight, how far along do you think are you in terms of sort of getting into a cohesive unit and making strides on that
You're
end?
never going to be cohesive on the defensive end until every little piece is in place. So do the best you can until all the pieces get into place, and that will happen.
Yeah, Kim, when you were a player, you had to make a transition from high school to college as a scorer to a point guard. Can you kind of relate that to Haley, what she's going through as far as?
Yes, yes. The only thing Haley has is Haley is not a freshman. She is in a new system, but she's not a freshman. She's had to handle the ball, so that's comfortable for her. What is so hard is you got to know everything everybody else is doing on that floor. She's got to know where the flagé is. She's got to know what your responsibility is. She's got to know the defensive calls. Think about it. It's like a quarterback. They have to know everything, whereas those other skilled players, they don't. They just run routes, right? Hand the ball off. But that quarterback's got to know everything, and that's what a point guard does. And then third quarter, I'm putting her over here on the wing. So that's hard. And Haley has just been a trooper. She wants to do it. She wants to learn it, and she will. She'll master it.
Coach, can you piggyback on what Van Lith talked about in terms of her hustle? And she never stops moving, it seems like, every loose
Well,
ball.
I tell her sometimes it's not waste. You don't ever pull back on a thoroughbred. But sometimes I tell her angles are more important than some of that, not false energy, but let me show you how to angle it right here and help you a little bit more. I think that's what she's talking about, on how we want to position ourselves to keep that offensive player to a sideline. But you never, ever, ever take any kind of hustle plays or anything away from them. You want kids to make mistakes playing hard.
Got time for a few more questions here.
Hey, Kim, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Flage's Euro step.
She's made a mini bucket doing that Euro step, right? Let's just talk about Flage in general. She gets the flu and misses a game. No player should ever be taken out of the lineup for an injury or for being sick, but you got to get them back in the flow. And did she do her job? She got back in the flow coming off the bench those 2 games, and now she's back starting to feel like Flage. And that's what you expect her to do. I mean, you're talking about the freshman of the year in this league last year. You're talking about a kid that won a national championship. She did everything she was supposed to do to get back in the flow. You can't just insert them immediately. Sometimes you can, but when you are as sick as she was, you got to make sure that her conditioning's back, her shot's back, because it won't do her any good if she doesn't contribute and help us.
Coach Katie Barnes, ESPN. You mentioned a few moments ago that you can't have cohesion until every piece is in place. How do you balance developing that cohesive identity on both ends of the floor while also missing a piece of your team that has historically been good for you?
You just coach. you coach hard, and you know what that is? That gives another opportunity to somebody else. This kid right here, Morrow, you just, next man up. And you make them understand the process of what we're trying to do defensively. You don't change positions. I'm not changing positions. You're just next man up, and you just keep coaching. Because you don't know when, where, whatever, when those kids are going to win a big ball game for you, and you just keep coaching.
Finish with Scott.
Scott Ravelli, the Baton Rouge Advocate, the Times-Picayune, the Acadiana Advocate. That's about it.
You've been here a lot, hadn't you? Who's
Me?
been here the least since I've been here? Raise your hand.
Oh.
What sports writer out there has been here the least?
Well, it's not me.
Well, why is that, Glenn? Didn't
he's-
have any controversy for you to cover? Why is that?
He's national. I'm local.
Okay, he's local too.
Anyway, is it different now? Coaching, you've had a lot of great players, and a lot of teams that you have to try to build chemistry with. And all that. Has this season proved to be different?
No.
Than anything before? Is it still the things
No.
that worked for you in the past are still working for you?
Yes. Yes. You always have to deal with locker room issues. That's just part of coaching. In 40 years, I can never think of a time where I didn't have to deal with issues. That's what coaches do. Sometimes y'all know about them and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to know more than you're entitled to know. I'm going to protect my players, always. They are more important. It's like a family, Scott. Let me ask you this. If you do some disciplining of your own children, do you think we're entitled to know that? That's a family in that locker room. That's a family. And it really doesn't matter what I say to you guys. You're going to write and interpret things the way you want to. Some of you wrote some things that I never said. I never used some of the words that y'all wrote. You interpreted it the way you wanted to. Just write what I tell you. But this is no different. I've been doing this for 40 years. And guess what? I don't know that I have 40 left in me, but if whatever I have left in me, you're gonna deal with stuff. And those kids are like my children. And I'm not going to tell you what you don't need to know. And that's just the way I address things. And I don't mean to be just straightforward with you, but I think you're referring to like NIL stuff and all that. Yeah.
There are a lot of different circumstances now.
This is college. This is college. This is college athletics. No matter what the NIL is, no matter what they do in pros, this is college.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.